Good people, thank you for listening to the Yolanda and Cornelius show. We have a special guest today, Dawn Marie Morris, worldclasstraining.net, and she has an awesome story, product, and service. And on President's Day, she has a marvelous announcement and a wonderful announcement. So stay tuned for the show. It is the Yolanda and Cornelius show with your host, Dawn Marie Morris. Hear ye her. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Pastor. How are you?
I'm good. We are doing an activity. My friend from Alabama has come in, and I asked him what does he see in this picture? He said he sees ignorance in the midst of chaos.
Okay, interesting.
Yes, and there's no wrong answer, because he said, hey, do you mind? I'm a non-smoker. Here you are in the firing line of life.
Right.
You're literally in the firing line of life. And your preference is to, listen, you're distracted by something that's of lesser importance to me than looking at a gun, looking at a barrel, looking at death.
That's right. That's true. These are
and facts. Sometimes in life we choose the lesser.
Right. That's true. Very true. Yeah.
Because we want to be in control. But anyway, good morning to you.
That's very true. Good morning, Pastor. How are you?
I am wonderful.
Good. Always good to share space with you.
Listen. I know that something is coming up, and I need everybody to put in the chat President's Day. Switching gears. Everybody put in the chat President's Day. President's Day. And while we in this space, Jerry Thomas, you can't answer this question. Jerry cannot answer this question. The father of the African American or Black History Week, the father of Black History Week, who is the father of Black History Week, which became Black History Month? Don, do you know it? He's a member of
father of Black History. Is it Carter G. Woodson?
It is. Jerry said the bruh.
Carter G. Woodson. Yes, says this Howard girl.
Oh, okay, Howard. You rocking it. So, Good morning. My cousin Angela Holman. Y'all give a shout out to Angela Holman. Her son will be playing on Sunday. Her son will be playing on Sunday, y'all. The Super Bowl. Shawan Jennings, number 15.
Congratulations.
Shawan Jennings will be playing in the Super Bowl on Sunday. So we have to give Angela her shout out. Love you, fam.
I didn't hear you play some applause for that, Pastor.
Oh, my bad.
Yes. That's a good thing. Yes. Which team?
San Francisco 49ers.
All right. So we know who we're rooting for. What about Mahomes? Who you rooting for, Pastor?
I'm San Francisco 49ers. My cousin is playing. I'm from Mahomes, but anyway. Listen, before we even get into what you're doing and what you've done, what is your strategy for life when it gets strange? When life gets strange, what strategy do you have in place for life?
And for some, this may sound counterintuitive, but the first thing that I've found that benefits me is to go get still.
Just go get still.
I go get still, and in some cases, I may even rest, because it's in that space that I'm able to figure out what as Oprah says, my next right move is. And so, I find power in going and I don't know if I've ever shared with you, but I do watch some, court shows and things on YouTube and stuff. But I don't even watch TV really, because I love to, I have to hear his voice. And if I have too many things going on in my head and my ears, then I can't. So yes, in that midst of craziness or I don't know, or things are feeling off, I first go get still. Yes.
like the stillness part.
I like the stillness part. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And rule 7, according to the book, says envision God's enveloping presence.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, that's rule 7. Envisioning God's presence. Because
yes,
when life gets strange,
yes,
the presence of God seems to dissipate.
Yes.
In my own intuitive awareness.
Right.
Because I'm like this man right here. I'll put it back on the screen. I'm worried about insignificant things at the time.
Right.
And the insignificant things at the time seem to consume all of my thought process.
Right.
So therefore, his presence in my intuitive nature begins to dissipate.
Right.
And now I'm flustered.
Exactly. But going back to that, and what I was saying about getting still, if you could put the image back up on the screen.
Okay.
In having that moment of stillness, and it doesn't have to be a long time, but if that person the person who made the comment about the smoke would have paused and said, you know what is the next right move? Because you have to think again about the order of your life, right? And the order of importance in your life. So what's most important in that moment? Smoking is a longer term impact perhaps to your health, but a gun staring you in the face is a more immediate possible impact to your life. So we need to handle the immediate impact and then deal with the more longer term effect. And sometimes we reverse that. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, Jay is talking today. Yes. You're worried about the waves and the winds. That's right. Jesus right in front of you. That's right. What is right in front of you that you need to handle? And sometimes we do get bogged down in the minutia of the moment and don't handle the most important things.
The minutia of the moment. And
the minutia of the moment.
And you know what I haven't handled well? I'm telling this to everybody, and then we're going to slip off, give you a pitch, and we're off of pre-cares for the day. What I haven't handled in the moment is how to sell me.
How to sell you? Interesting.
Yes.
How do you mean, Pastor?
Well, everybody has at least 2 things. Listen to this, y'all. Everybody has at least 2 things. You either have a service or a product, or you have both.
Right.
And you are service and you are product.
Right.
A lot of people are missing out on their purpose.
Right.
And in purpose because they haven't learned their service or their product or both. You come to help people discover both.
Right.
Service and product.
Right. That's true.
So what would it be like when you get to do what you want to do?
Oh.
What will it be like when you get to do what you want to do?
Yes. It's so freeing when you do. But it is, and I would even perhaps argue that we're all a product, right?
We all a product.
We're all a product. When we step out into this world, people are either buying or not buying us as a product.
Talk to me.
Which is why we have to be cognizant of how we show up in the world. Right? Like someone said to me once about people who don't frown, and when you ask them how they're doing, they say, okay. And the response that this person that they give them is, well, let your face know. Right? Because if your face is not saying that you're happy, but you're telling me you are, there's a disconnect. And so we have to be always mindful of the product that is YOU.
The product is YOU.
That's right. Yes.
Boy.
Yes. And the service becomes our delivery to the world. How are
Slow down. Okay. The product is YOU.
That's right.
And the service is what?
Is what you are delivering to the world.
Okay.
And that's where... Because that's the other part, I think, that people your benefit to the world and how you should serve the world or how you can serve the world. And so, again, as we're going day to day in life, we're caught up in the minutia of how we're serving. We're looking at the lower hanging fruit instead of doing a little deeper dive into what our contributions are and then honing our skills in a way that we can serve people to the best of our abilities.
So tell me, the services that you're bringing on President's Day entails what, and how do we get there?
Oh, okay. I love how you transition. I love how you.
Well, you know, we're not in the space personally, so
yes.
know my cues.
Exactly. Well, on President's Day, we're doing a program, and I have two amazing people who are in the sales space, and I want everybody to understand that even if you're not a sales person, you're always selling you. And so how are you having conversations with people who can help you move the dial forward? Do you know how to build a conversational strategy to get what you want or need? I have shared, since we've been promoting this, that when I was at my last job, they offered me a job, exactly, the sale of you, and watch, absolutely, come on, April, you have to, they offered me the job. First, the pay was lower than I wanted, lower than I deserved based on what I knew I could serve, how I could serve this organization. And so I was put in a position where I had to sell them on why I should get a higher salary. And so I was able to build a business case for why I had the skill set and the competencies that were needed and necessary for the role that I was going into. And so by me doing that, I got $10,000 more a year than I had was originally offered, and I also got a starting bonus at the company. So when we are thinking about our sales skills, we have to go beyond thinking, well, I'm not a salesperson. We have to say, how are we selling that thing that is YOU? And so on February the 19th, we're having something called Sales Steps to Make Dead President. And a dead president is, of course, money. And in that, we have two speakers. One is in Nashville. He's the head of MyTech Partners, and he's built a company from zero to over millions of dollars now, Bill McCluskey. And he is going to come and talk about the discipline of this thing called selling. So first I talked to you about the conversation, but you also have to be disciplined as someone who is either in sales or is someone who is looking to build their careers or is looking to be promoted within a job. You have to always know what disciplines you need to put into place. And so he's coming to talk about that. And then the second person is E.J. Bassetti, and he's going to discuss this idea of conversation and mastering the art of conversation as you are building your salesmanship skills. And so that's February the 19th. It is a virtual experience, and so you don't even have to worry about how you're going to get there, if you can get there. And it's President's Day, so many people have the day off. So this is a great way to spend the day, 9:30 a.m. And I can put, or can you put, Pastor, the information to register for that? Because registration is going to end next Wednesday. But I do want you to make sure that if it's not you, it's worldclasstraining.net /SELL. And it's $99 to register. worldclasstraining.net /sale. So, as I was saying, we have to do a better job. I see so many people who come out of the social media space. Thank you. World with a D.
Oh, my God, I can't spell.
It's early in the morning. So many people come out of the social media space, and when they have to take off the filter that is social media and have real conversation, they're not able to do that effectively. And that's why this coming together of these masterminds is so important, because it is going to be an opportunity for people to do a self-check. Where am I as it relates to being able to sell this product that is myself? How am I doing, and how can I hone my skills in this area? And so please, I want you all to register for this. It is going to be an amazing time. And if you have any questions about it, you can feel free to reach out to me either on our Instagram, Facebook, shoot me a question on Messenger, World Class Training Inc. on Instagram, or the World Class Training Institute on Facebook. And I can answer any questions that you have about it as well. But yes, thank you for giving me that opportunity to talk about that, because it is very important.
You said something, and y'all, I want you to zero in on this. It's not the only thing you possibly want to zero in. Yes. You said mastering the art of conversation.
Yes. And it is
that's part of the sale. Mastering the art of conversation.
Yes. Exactly.
That might be one of the barriers I'm facing, is that I do not know how to communicate, listening or speaking, to master the art to sell me the product. Mm-hmm. YOU is the product.
Right.
That's what you said, right?
That's what I said.
YOU is the product.
Yes.
How mastering the art.
Yes.
The conversational component.
Right. Exactly.
Listening and speaking.
Yes. Yes. And both are necessary. And I don't want people to misunderstand what listening is, because listening is intentional. Hearing is God-given. So many of us, most of us, have the ability to hear, but do we have the skill set, and I didn't say ability, the skill set to listen? Because it takes us, first of all, locking in and focusing on the person and what they are saying, and then having a moment to interpret that before going into whatever our, not reaction, but response is. And so people have to learn how to communicate. Have to learn how, and I talked about one of my exes recently. I said, he knows how to talk, but he doesn't know how to communicate. And so I said, what is the difference?
What is the difference between talking and communicating? That's good. Hey, that's a question that we will answer next week.
Okay.
The next time we get on, and remember on Tuesday, we can talk about that. Talking versus communicating, and then reaction versus responding,
right? And
then understanding, mastering the art of communication, so I can sell me.
Yes.
And that's a skill that has to be worked on and developed. Yes. The discipline.
That's
the discipline of selling you.
Exactly.
As it relates to Capri Cares and mental health, Angie, here it is. Here it is, Angie. If I cannot sell healing to me, and the service to heal me, and the product to heal me, I'll never be healed.
No, that's right.
I'll never get to emotional wellness.
That's
because
right.
I might not be the best at listening.
That's right. That's right.
Hearing is God-given. Listening is what God has given us the tools to do.
That's right.
To build upon our hearing.
That's right.
And faith come by hearing, and hearing the word of God. Don't want to make it too sermonic today.
Right.
But now I'm understanding. Now, I'm not communicating to me what I need to communicate to me, so that I can heal and sell me, because I'm a service and a product.
That's right. Exactly. That's absolutely right. Yeah, I used to work at Dick's Sporting Goods, and when we would visit the stores, there are certain things that they're looking for to see if the products are positioned in the right way to be sold. Number one, you got to have all of the products in a chunky fashion. You don't want things scattered, right? Because it doesn't look right. It's the same thing with us and our brains. You don't want your brain scattered. You want your stuff tight so you can think right. The appearance of it has to be where it needs to be. So you want your color schemes to go right. It's the same thing. You have to have an order for your life and for how you're even positioning. Like I woke up a little later, but I was like, I start my day, everybody knows, working out. So I'm going to do 10 minutes, if nothing else. If you have an order to your life and how you're operating, it helps your mental capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to put yourself in a place where at the end of the day what we called it was staging. Stage yourself so that you can show up right and be able to sell yourself. Yes.
Stage yourself.
Yes.
Wow. That's good. That is good. Well, look, listen, y'all, President's Day, let's connect. Let's do worldclasstraining.net/sale.
Yes.
Let me put that back up there.
Yes.
April Fitzgerald, let's learn to sell us. Angie Holman, let's learn to sell us. Let's learn to sell our product. Let's learn to sell the healed version of us. And I'll bring it in and make it biblical and scriptural. Jesus, one of the things that made Jesus who he was and so impactful and so influential, he knew how to sell him. He knew how. Jesus knew how to sell him.
That's right. Exactly.
And sold it so well that folks would die for the cause.
Ooh. That's it. Yes.
He sold it so well that individuals would die for the cause because they saw him die for the cause. So Jesus had no problem selling himself.
That's right.
And he sold himself in these words, I am.
That's right.
He became the epitome of what he was saying, what he was sharing, and what he was selling.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Right.
He became the epitome of what he was selling, saying, and sharing.
Yes.
And he said, I am.
Right.
So when it was time for him to reach the ultimate, to cross the threshold, to get to the place where he would be lifted up, he had sold enough of it to himself and others that they followed him to his death because he was a great seller.
Yes. I'm going to tell you another quick example of that before we close out. I went to Louisville to the Muhammad Ali Museum, and what he said. So I knew that everybody called him the greatest, right? But do you know that Muhammad Ali called himself the greatest before he ever was? Before he won anything, before he had as many championships as he had, because he called himself the greatest. And then he staged himself so that he was not only able to sell it to himself, sell it to the world, but even sell it to his opponents. So they were scared when they got in the ring. They already knew, I'm going up against the greatest.
Of course.
Exactly.
That's a tactic. That's a tactic. That's
right. And the more we look in the mirror and say, you know what? He spoke it. Come on, Anita. He spoke it. Exactly. And that's what we have to do. That's why they say, you come in, like you say, I stand there in open heaven and I will receive everything that God has for me. Now, the more you say it, the more you will walk in it.
Watch out now. You better believe it. Listen, Tuesday, everybody put in the chat, Tuesday at 1 o'clock, we will be live on 790 The Gospel. 790 The Gospel. We will be live talking about reaction versus responses, position to be sold, and know how to stage yourself. And then on President's Day, we have an awesome opportunity to learn from some masterminds. Masterminds. And I will put that link in the chat on tomorrow. I promise you. Also on tomorrow, Don and I will upload a podcast tomorrow. It's already on my YouTube page, y'all. Go to my YouTube, hit like and share, and follow her on YouTube, worldclasstraining.net. Don, any other words before we get off of here?
No, it's always a joy. I can't wait till Tuesday. Y'all, please tune into the 790 AM show because it's a great 30 minutes. It's the best way to spend your happy birthday, Angela.
On the 11th, so we're going to give a shout out. We're going to do it because you better believe it.
Isn't that Super Bowl Sunday too?
It's
So perhaps her cousin will win the Super Bowl and it'll be a birthday. It's going to be a great day.
What a birthday gift.
It's going to be a great day. Yes. So but please come join Pastor Hill and I on the Yolanda and Cornelius show on Tuesday. We have a great time in that 30 minutes. And they can stream that too. If they're at their work desk, you can stream it online, 790 AM. Yes.
That's it. I'll put it in the chat. Tomorrow, we have a podcast. Y'all, we're about to get out of here. And you know what we say? Know that I care.
Yes.
And what?
Care that I
Now listen. has been Capri Cares.